Hey Pokefans, and welcome to Pokemon History. So today I'm going to talk about the true Pokemon history. In my point, of course, there are many on the YouTube and on the internet, but I think that this one it's the real one because I've been searching a lot about this. I've been in all type of sites and I've been seeing a lot of videos, and I end up by having this result on the Pokemon history. So let's just get started. So the story tells that in the middle of nothing, a vortex of complete destruction just came out of nothing, and an egg appears from the collision of that vortex. That later hatches into Arceus, the Pokemon that builds the universe with his hands and arms. Uh, Arceus being the first Pokemon in every existence, he creates Pokemons to help him shape this new universe he made. So he creates Dialga, Palkia and Giratina, each one with a task. Dialga was the creator of time, Palkia was the creator of space, and Giratina had a task to control the disturbance between time and space. He did this by going into another world that the disturbance would go there, and he had to balance those powers. So later, Arceus felt that he needed to help the newest Pokemons to make their tests. In that, he created Mesprit, Uxie, and Azelf. The Pokemon of emotions was Mesprit, the Pokemon of knowledge was Uxie, and the Pokemon of willpower, Azelf, in the hope that all Pokemons would fulfill their tasks more effectively in the future. So this made a problem because now that Giratina had this willpower, knowledge, and his emotions, he turned really violent against Arceus. So Arceus did the only thing he could do, and he banished him to the Distortion World, that world that he would control the disturbance between the space and time, but now the only thing he could do is live there, waiting for those disturbs to destroy his world where he lived. So Arceus felt like he had to make more, so he decided to create a planet where all Pokemons would live. So he created 3 Pokemons to their test: Rayquaza, Kyogre, and Groudon. Being Grounded, the Pokemon of Earth, the Pokemon that made all the rock and earth in the planet. Kyogre, the Pokemon of the sea, the Pokemon that flood the planet with all the seas and water and rivers. And Rayquaza, the Pokemon of Sky, that created all this atmosphere, all the air, etc. With this, Arceus decided to create a Pokemon that could create all the Pokemons to live in that new world. So he created Mew, the Pokemon that have all the DNA from Pokemon. So the task of Mew was to create Pokemons that would create this new world. In that way, creating all the known fossil Pokemons that existed. So, but these Pokemons, to be able to expand and not overpopulate the planet, 2 Pokemons were created: Xerneas and Yveltal. Being Xerneas the Pokemon of life and Yveltal the Pokemon of death. And a third Pokemon was created, his name was Zygarde, the Pokemon who balanced the powers of Xerneas and Yveltal. To doesn't exist a lot of death and a lot of life. So then a huge conflict began between Kyogre and Groudon. Each one of them wanted to expand more their zones, so they wanted to put more earth. Groudon wanted to put more earth. Kyogre wanted to have more sea, So this created a huge conflict. So happily, Rayquaza stopped them before they could destroy the whole planet and ordered them to never get out of the caves they are resting now. So, to he be sure that that wouldn't happen, that they wouldn't get out of the caves, he created two orbs to make them rest, being a red orb and the blue orb. The blue orb being the orb of Groudon, and the red orb being the orb of Kyogre. So, after this, during this, two Pokemons were created. The Pokemon of Calm and Rainbow, or the Pokemon of Restoration, and the Pokemon of Storms and Destruction. These being Ho-Oh and Lugia. So later on, Regigigas is created with the task of creating the continents and all regions we know now and we will know. During this time, he creates three Pokemons from an ice mountain, from rocks and magma, being Regice, Regirock and Registeel, that later resemble each one of the three stages of the world, the Ice Age, the Rock Age and the Iron Age. So after this creation of Regigigas and all the Gigas that existed, Arceus got really tired from all his work, and he went into a deep slumber, leaving before him the Adamant Orb, the Lustrous Orb, and the Griseous Orb. By now, the first humans started to appear, and the prehistoric Pokemon started to get more extincted. Not completely extincted, but they were not as large number. So they started to give place to new Pokemons, to the Pokemons that we know today. The problem, maybe not a problem, but the humans start to get intelligent, as obvious. And each time they got more intelligence, they start to get different point of view to their lives. With this new emotion or feeling, with this new thought, yes, a new Pokemon was created. Kyurem, the Pokemon that controlled the conflicts between the truth and ideals. That was all the life points that the humans had in their minds. If they wanted to live through the ideals of a life, or they wanted the truth of what life is. For each age of the world, some Pokemon started to get extincted, and others grow weaker. So, for example, Mamoswine got extincted after the Ice Age, and Magikarp after the Iron Age got really weak. For some reason she was one of the powerful Pokemons there was, but after Iron Age she got really weak. So by this time, after Iron Age, all the fossil Pokemons were now extincted. So after the Iron Age, as I said, a lot happened. So about the Magikarp happened. All the Regis got sealed away because they had nothing more to do. All humans stopped worshipping them because they were considered gods at the time, but now after Iron Age they just didn't worship the Regis. So by this time all the stages of the world ended after the Regis got sealed away, and by this time the humans started to be a huge population, and they started to have a lot of conflicts between their ideals of truth that talked back there, and with this, Kyurem couldn't control all these conflicts, all these thoughts of the humans, and he got separated in three parts, giving birth to Zekrom and Reshiram, being Zekrom the Pokemon of ideals, and being Reshiram the Pokemon of truth. With this, a lot of conflicts started to happen between humans and Pokemons, and several things. Humans that didn't support the Pokemons and humans that supported the Pokemons. This started to be a real conflict. Wars started to happen. So it was uh, because of these new points of view that Kyurem has created, because he was overheated with all these conflicts. So to bring the balance to all these conflicts, new Pokemons were created. 4 Pokemons to be exact: Keldeo, Terrakion, Cobalion, and Virizion. Sorry, I can't say that really well. So they are called the Sword of Justice group. They are the Pokemons of the Sword of Justice. So obviously by the name you can understand that they are the Pokemon of Justice. So they keep the balance between all these conflicts. But during all these conflicts, even these new Pokemons couldn't control everything. It would be hard. They were newly created, and they couldn't help all the world. So the chaos were started, and a lot of Pokemons died and fought in those battles with the Pokemon of the human named Ash. The human named Ash created a ultimate weapon to bring his fallen Pokemon back to life. The Pokemon that fought in the Cold War has died, and he couldn't accept it, so created this weapon to bring it to life again, using the power of Yveltal that absorbed the life of all Pokemons in Kalos, not killing all of them, but killing almost all of them. There wasn't a lot of Pokemons left by then. Ace got his Pokemon back. That made Yveltal transform into casual until it awakes, because he absorbed all his energy, but it didn't went to him. It went to the ultimate weapon. So Yveltal couldn't awake again, and he turns into casual. Sadly, the Pokemon of Aze understood how many Pokemons died because of him uh, getting his life again. So the Pokemon decided to run away. After this, Aze got depressed, and Xerneas gave him eternal life to Aze understand and pay for what he's done to Kalos region. With this, Xerneas, by sharing his internal life, it caused him really weak, and he had to go rest in the form of a tree. So, years later, in the actual civilization, real close to our civilization now, Zekrom and Reshiram understood that they needed more power if they wanted to win the battle between truth and ideals. So they both decided to take the rest of the power that was left in Kyurem. Kyurem being just a body without any type of power inside of him, just a little of the power of Zekrom and Reshiram, he couldn't move and protect himself. So in that way, Reshiram and Zekrom ended by completely take over Kyurem, and they become the Kyurem as we know now, the Kyurem Black and the Kyurem White. So that's basically it. I hope you enjoyed. If you don't agree with me, be sure to leave in the comments what I said wrong, or what you think I should change in this. But I remember you that I did all this research, so respect my opinion, and I will respect your opinion. So if you liked, remember to leave a like. If you didn't, subscribe. I will make a lot of more of this history Pokemon videos. Be sure to check them out if they're already out, and I hope to see you again.